Has the housing market on the west side of Los Angeles finally cooled off, or are certain neighborhoods still experiencing a very hot seller's market? We're about to jump into Brentwood, California in the 90049 right now with all the numbers, because the numbers don't lie. So you as a buyer, seller, or investor can still be a success in this market in 2022.
We got it. She picky and choosing in love with the moment. Yeah, we got it. They cannot do what we doing. You see how we moving. We got it. Mess with the squad, you try to.
Back to the channel where the numbers don't lie, my friends. We are getting into Brentwood Q2 versus Q1 for 2022. But if you are a California resident like I am myself, you just really experienced the craziest, hottest, most humid 2 weeks I have seen in over a decade. And I was born here in the Valley, no less. And let me tell you, it's nothing I've seen in over a decade. But with that being said, let's get into this video. If you're joining us for the first time, my name is Eric Haas. I'm with Sotheby's Realty here on the west side of Los Angeles. 24/7 realtor, just delivering you the truth with these numbers that we're about to get into so you can make complete, clear, successful decisions as a buyer, seller, or investor. Before we jump into it, make sure that if you haven't already, subscribe, like, and comment, because we're on our way to 1,000+ subscribers, and I need your help getting there. So without further ado, we're getting into this video, Brentwood 2022 Q2 versus Q1, and what you can expect moving forward for the rest of the year. With part 1 of 4, we're checking out the number of active listings, the pending listings, and the sold listings for Brentwood Q2 versus Q1 2022, and we're actually kind of painting a picture of what is to be expected moving forward into Q3 and into Q4 for the rest of the year for Brentwood. Now, if we take a look at it right now, active listings have increased actually from 41 homes in Q1, a 31% increase, to now 54 homes for Q2 active listings. And it seems that maybe there is a teeter-totter towards more of a balanced market, maybe even opportunities arising for buyers if they are paying attention. And if we look at the pending listings as well, we see that that has dropped significantly to the tune of 58%, from 38 in Q1 now down to 16 in Q2. And if we take a look at the sold listings, though, it's actually painting a little obscure picture, because these first two statistics of active and pending listings are kind of showing that, hey, you know what, it might be an opportunity for buyers to get off the fence and maybe start paying attention to what's going on in Brentwood. But then we jump into the number of sold listings from Q1 to Q2, and it's jumped 63%, from 52 homes sold in Q1 to 85 homes sold in Q2. So this is why it's extremely vital that it's not just these numbers you as a buyer, seller, or investor should be paying attention to. It's all the numbers that we're covering in this video as we jump into part 2. Part 2 of 4, we're looking at that median active price, median pending price, and median sold price for Q2 versus Q1 2022 Brentwood, Los Angeles, California. And as you can see right here, we were at a median active price of $7 million, down 10% to $6.3 million for Q2. And normally, I would say that's a good thing, because sellers are getting smart about their pricing, but they might be getting smart because they're anticipating a change in the market, and we may be seeing something more of a balanced market, or buyers actually being in a more of a leveraging position. However, let's jump down. Before we get to median pending, I want to jump to median sold, because that's down 9%, from 3.3 million in Q1 to now 3 million in Q2. Again, a signal suggesting that maybe this could be a buyer's market on the horizon as we move into Q3 and Q4 for the rest of the year. However, the curveball that I throw you right now is that median pending price. 4.5 million in Q1, 100% increase to 9 million in Q2. And that's telling me that, hey, you know what? It may be particular specific homes that are finding their way into buyers' hands on more of a opportunistic level. But for the most part, there's a hot demand going on right now, especially when you see that median pending price, which is forecasting the future homes of selling in Q3, jumping that 100% from 4.5 million to 9 million. Into part 3 of 4, we're covering that sold volume, the average days on market, and the sold price versus the list price at the end of the day for Brentwood Q1 versus Q2 2022. Is it a buyer's market? Is it a seller's market? We're going to get absolutely crystal clear, especially in part 3, as we see that there's a 42% drop in the sold volume from 258 million in Q1 to now just $150 million for quarter two. And as I mentioned in part one, there was a 31% increase in the number of homes on the market. Well, if that sold volume was down the way it was at 42% below what it normally was in quarter one, you can be sure that that extra 31% increase in inventory for quarter two is going to be gobbled up just as quickly. As we see here with the average days on market supporting it with a 64% drop in the average days on market from 45 in quarter one to 16 in quarter two. That's absolutely nuts, but it gets even crazier for this Brentwood market because this is going to be the icing on the cake as far as the hot sellers market goes, because the sold price versus the list price jumped 9% in just one quarter. That went from 95% of the original list price in quarter one to now 104% of the original list price in quarter two, meaning that multiple offers are still ever present. Homes are going over the asking price in the face of rising interest rates, recession, and inflation. Part 4 of 4. We're getting into my favorite part of the video because we're talking about the number of homes that went over the asking, at asking, and below asking for Brentwood quarter 1 versus quarter 2, 2022. And again, this part is going to very clearly paint a picture that just shows a hot sellers market continuing for Brentwood, Los Angeles, California. As we see right here, the number of homes selling over the asking price in quarter 1 was 20. Selling over the asking price in quarter 2, we're at 41. That's a 105% increase. But the more important aspect of it is that that 20 number accounts for 38% of the homes selling in quarter 1 sold over the asking price versus 48% of the homes selling over the asking price in Brentwood quarter 2. That's a 10% increase, further substantiating that this Brentwood market, as long as you price it right, sellers, is going to be a hot one into quarter 3 and probably the rest of the year. As we look at the number of homes that sold at the asking price, you see a large jump as well from 4 homes selling in quarter 1 at the asking price to now 10 homes selling at the asking price. That's a 150% increase, but more importantly, that 4 in quarter 1 substantiated 8% of the homes selling at the asking price. That has jumped 4% to 12, and now 12% of the homes in quarter number 2 sold at the asking price. Now, if we look at that number of homes that sold below the asking price, there are still people just not paying attention and pricing their homes correctly from day one. And it's still evident, and unfortunately, it's increased, but that's as a result of the number of sold homes increasing from 52 in quarter 1 to 85 in quarter 2. And as we see right here, the number of homes increased 28% from 28 in quarter 1 to now 34. But let's pay attention to that other number. That 28 in quarter 1 accounted for 54% of the homes selling in Brentwood sold under the asking price. If we look at the number of homes selling below the asking price, that number 34 accounts for 40%. So the number of homes going below the asking price has actually dropped a tremendous 14%. Again, further substantiating that this Brentwood market we're experiencing right now in quarter 2 and into quarter 3 is on fire, and I really don't think it's going to change unless some freakish thing happens. But this Brentwood market, my friends, you really got to be on the ball. Pay attention to those price reductions as well, buyers, because look, there are still 34 homes going under the asking price at the end of the day. Sellers, be one of these 41. Be one of those 41 that are going over the asking price at the end of the day, where you can just comfortably coast through escrow, close, and move on with the next chapter of your life. Guys, this is the end of the video. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you found tremendous value. I'm always here to answer questions, so don't hesitate to drop a question or even a comment in the comment section. I'm always getting back to everyone who drops one. And please, if you haven't already, like the video and make sure that you subscribe, because